Well, hey, McFly subscribers. So, I am on my way to Corpus Christi. And I'm going to do some redfish fishing. I drove across the country from Colorado down to Texas, dropped my wife off in San Antonio with her family. I stayed a few nights. I wasn't feeling too well, actually. I'm going to meet my buddy, Johnny, and we're going to go do some redfish fishing, hopefully. Again, I'm still kind of weak from the sickness. Hopefully I can get it all done with the way I'm feeling. I still don't feel 100%, although I don't have a fever anymore, so, you know, but I do need to rest. So when I get down there, I think we'll probably get our fishing stuff together and whatnot, but we probably won't fish till tomorrow. Definitely going to hang out with my buddy. Haven't seen him in a while. Johnny's a really good guy. You know, we planned on doing like an overnight camp trip. I don't know, we'll see how I feel. Maybe we can't do that, but I'll definitely do what I can, and hopefully I get some good footage, some good fish, and have a good time. So, Hurricane Harvey had come through this area a month prior to my trip, so I fully expected to see more damage than I was seeing. Even the neighborhoods closer to the water seemed pretty well intact, but Johnny told me to go down to Port Aransas, where the hurricane hit much harder. And I was saddened to see the beautiful little town devastated by this hurricane. Every block had piles of trash and debris that the hurricane had destroyed. And many roofs were in repair, like the one on this church. A few boats were even littered around the city. But the most incredible part was that there was a dump in the city that was 4 stories high and very wide. It was filled with trash already picked up. There was still trash at every block, so they weren't done filling this. Well, back to Johnny's to relax and get ready for fishing tomorrow. Alright guys, so me and Johnny, we're heading out to the island here. We're going to go to a place called Dead Man's Hole, is that correct?
Yes.
Alright, and we're going to go see if we can't get some redfish. It's the first day we're fishing since I got down here. I got down here yesterday midday and we decided to relax and go get stuff at Roy's Bait and Tackle, which is a tackle shop in town, get some leader and whatnot, so should be a fun day. The water is really high. The barometric pressure right now is at about 30, so it's a little high. We've got some weird winds going on, so I'm not sure how it's going to be. It could be a little slow right now, and that's why we're actually not heading down to the beach. We were going to go down to the beach and maybe fish off the beach, but with the way that the winds are blowing, it's a little mucky down there, and it's just not great conditions. So we're going to see if we can wade out to Dead Man's Hole. Hopefully we can get a few reds. Hopefully we can even make it. We're both rather short, and it's pretty high tide, so. Johnny's boot ended up busting while he tried putting it on, so he had to wear his shoes. Great start for the day. Alright guys, so we're here. I'm going to start with a with the top water. I've got a crease fly here. We're noticing some signs of stingray though, so we got to be careful. Shuffle our feet a little and hopefully we don't get stung. That would be bad. It was very windy, but we had high hopes for catching fish. So I set down the camera and we started to wade out. Right away, I saw a spot that had a few fish in it. They were sea trout and not reds, but I gave it a whirl with my popper anyway. And sure enough, the trout started going after the fly. However, they were really small and didn't seem to fully commit. So we kept moving, looking for spots here and there. I ended up switching to a mullet pattern, and you've seen me tie this on one of my tutorials. I found this spot with some fish, but again they were really small and not fully committing to the fly. Then I saw redfish take off out of the shallows right behind me. Johnny then called me and said he was getting some strikes on his rod. He had switched to conventional and already had landed one speckled trout. So I met up with him and gave it a try, but they were all in deep pockets where I couldn't get down to with my fly. Here's some footage Johnny took of a 20-inch speck that he had landed. Even though the fishing was decent, we decided to head out to another spot called Shamrock Cove after we realized that the tide was coming in very quickly. Over at Shamrock, I finally hooked into a fish. It was only a skipjack, and I accidentally turned my camera off rather than on, so I didn't get to film him. As we moved down the beach, I saw some movement up ahead on the sand. I went over to investigate and found hundreds of small little crabs. So cool. We finally found some good vegetation spots, and I saw a few fish popping on the surface. So I gave it a try thinking they were trout. But it turns out they were perch. Lots of perch. So we moved to another spot in hopes of finding reds or specks. But we found more perch. So I turned the camera off to preserve battery. Of course, at that time I hooked my only speckled trout for the day. He was small, but at least I wasn't skunked. We fished there for a little while longer until the sun started to go down, and then we headed back to Johnny's house to lick our wounds and prepare for hopefully a better day tomorrow. Hey, check back next week to see Johnny and me go out to Shamrock Cove again, but this time on a kayak. Thanks for watching. If you like this sort of thing, please subscribe. Check out the description section for more info about this trip. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.